Have you ever sat alone in a fancy restaurant, pretending everything was fine, when your whole world was quietly falling apart? Well, that's exactly where our story begins, with a powerful CEO whose blind date didn't show up, and a tired single mom who just wanted a place to sit. What happened next? It changed both of their lives forever. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because what you're about to hear might just restore your faith in love and second chances. The restaurant was quiet, the kind of quiet that hums with soft piano music and the clinking of expensive cutlery. Ethan Carter sat by the window, wearing his signature navy blue suit, tailored, polished, and perfect. The CEO of Carter Innovations, a name that meant success and power. But tonight, he felt small. The waiter had just cleared away the second glass of champagne, the one he'd ordered for her. The blind date his friends had arranged never showed up. 10 minutes late became 30, and then an hour. He scrolled through his phone, pretending to check emails, but deep down, the sting of rejection burned quietly in his chest. Around him, couples laughed, shared desserts, leaned closer to whisper secrets. Ethan stared at the empty chair across from him and sighed. He had everything, a penthouse, cars, money, respect, yet somehow, not a single person who looked at him without seeing his bank account. For the first time in years, he didn't want to go back to his empty apartment. He just wanted someone, anyone, to talk to. That's when he heard a small, nervous voice. "Excuse me, sir, is this seat taken?" Ethan looked up. Standing before him was a woman in her late 20s, holding the hand of a little boy about 6 years old. Her dark hair was tied back in a messy bun, her eyes warm but tired, her clothes simple, not poor, just practical. The boy clutched a small toy car and looked around the fancy restaurant with wide eyes. Ethan blinked. No. Please, go ahead." "Thank you," she said softly, giving a polite smile as she guided her son to the seat. "I'm sorry, it's just, everywhere else was full, and he was hungry. We didn't realize this place was, well, this expensive." Ethan chuckled faintly, shaking his head. "Don't worry about it. You're welcome to stay." As she settled in, the waiter approached with a skeptical look, but Ethan raised a hand. "They're with me." The woman looked startled. "Oh no, please, you don't have to." "I insist," Ethan interrupted gently. "It's nice to have company." She hesitated, then smiled. "Thank you. I'm Anna. And this is Noah." The little boy grinned. "Hi. I like your watch. It looks like Iron Man's." Ethan laughed, genuinely, for the first time that night. "Thanks, buddy. It kind of does, doesn't it?" As they ordered, conversation began to flow naturally. Anna shared that she worked 2 jobs, mornings as a nurse, evenings as a cashier. Noah's dad had left when he was a baby, and it had been just the 2 of them ever since. Ethan listened, fascinated. There was something refreshing about her honesty, no flattery, no pretense. Just real life, raw and unfiltered. When their food arrived, Ethan noticed how Anna carefully divided her portion, sliding extra fries onto Noah's plate. When the boy accidentally spilled water, she smiled and said, "That's okay, we all make little messes sometimes." Her patience, her quiet strength, it humbled him. They talked about dreams. She said she wanted to go back to nursing full-time once Noah started school. Ethan admitted he'd been so focused on work, he'd forgotten what dreaming even felt like. By the time dessert came, Noah had fallen asleep against his mother's shoulder. The sight stopped Ethan's words mid-sentence. There was something about it, that peaceful trust, that hit him hard. He thought of his own childhood, of nights spent alone after his parents' divorce, of promises never kept. Anna looked up, whispering, "I'm sorry, I should take him home." Ethan shook his head softly. "It's okay. Let him rest a bit. You both deserve a quiet night." She looked at him, puzzled. Why are you being so kind to us? He smiled faintly. Because, you reminded me what kindness looks like. Outside, the city lights glowed through the glass, soft and distant. Two strangers sat at a table meant for a blind date, and somehow, it felt like the most genuine evening either of them had had in years. As she stood to leave, Anna reached into her purse. I'll pay for half. Ethan raised a hand. Please. Let me do this. Think of it as repayment for good company. She looked at him for a long moment, her eyes searching his face. Then, quietly, she said, Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ethan Carter. Her eyes widened. The Ethan Carter? He chuckled. Yeah, but tonight, I was just Ethan. She smiled, a small, warm smile that lingered even after she walked out. And for the first time in years, Ethan didn't feel like the richest man in the room. He felt human. A week later, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about that night. Not the food, not the restaurant, but the way Anna smiled through exhaustion, the way Noah's laughter filled the air. He'd tried dating before, glamorous models, ambitious executives, but none of them left that quiet ache in his chest the way Anna did. He found himself visiting the same restaurant again, sitting at the same table, almost hoping she'd walk in. She didn't. But fate had other plans. The following weekend, Ethan attended a charity event his company sponsored, a fundraiser for a local hospital. As he mingled with investors, he froze. Across the room, serving drinks in a white volunteer's shirt, was Anna. He walked over slowly. She noticed him halfway through pouring a drink, and her eyes widened. Mr. Carter? He smiled. It's Ethan, remember? She laughed nervously. What are you doing here? I could ask you the same. I volunteer sometimes, she said, glancing down shyly. Helps the hospital where I used to work. They talked again, this time without menus or formality. When Noah came running up with a painted balloon, Ethan knelt to greet him. The boy beamed. Hey, Iron Man watch guy. That moment, that laugh, broke something inside him. The walls he'd built over years of success and loneliness began to crumble. Over the next few weeks, they met again. Coffee after work. Walks in the park. Ethan even attended Noah's school fair, awkwardly holding a balloon while kids shouted and laughed. He didn't care. For the first time, he felt alive. One evening, as they sat on a park bench watching the sunset, Anna said softly, I don't understand you, Ethan. You could be with anyone. Why me? He turned to her, his voice low and steady. Because you don't see me as a CEO. You see me as a man who forgot how to smile until a single mom asked for a spare seat. Her eyes filled with quiet emotion. Ethan. He smiled. Let me be there, for both of you. Not because I pity you. But because you reminded me what life is about. Tears shimmered in her eyes as Noah ran ahead chasing a paper plane. She whispered, maybe, this was the seat that was meant to be filled all along. He reached for her hand, and she didn't pull away. The city lights flickered behind them, but for Ethan, the world had never looked brighter. And that, my friends, is how a cancelled blind date turned into something real, proof that sometimes, the best things in life happen when plans fall apart. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories that remind us, love always finds a way, even in the most unexpected seats.